My new downstairs neighbor made the manager harass me. I hope he likes being woken up at 2 a.m. every night. I've lived in the same apartment with my boyfriend for almost 4 years. It's not the fanciest place, but the location is perfect and we've never had any issues. I keep to myself, I'm quiet, I don't throw parties or blast music, just your basic good neighbor. Then this new guy moves in below us. Let's call him Derek. Within the first week, Derek starts complaining. First complaint was about my garbage disposal. My garbage disposal. Like the thing that literally every apartment has that makes noise for maybe 20 seconds while you're cleaning up after dinner. He went to the property manager and said it was too loud and bothering him. The manager actually called me about it. I was like, you're kidding, right? It's a garbage disposal. She just said to try to use it less often. Whatever. A couple weeks go by and I'm thinking maybe that's the end of it. But then I get another call from the manager. She asks if I've been throwing anything off my balcony. I'm confused because no, I haven't thrown anything off my balcony. Well, not exactly. There are these plants right below my balcony on the ground level. Sometimes when I water my plants, I'll dump the leftover water from my bottle down there. It's water going onto plants. I didn't think this was a crime. The manager says she's received complaints about things falling from my balcony, so I go out there to investigate. My flower vase had tipped over in the wind and some water had spilled out. Maybe a cup of water at most. Not exactly a disaster. I texted the manager and explained what happened. Thought that would be the end of it. Wrong. That weekend, I come home from my night shift at the hospital and there's a notice taped to my door. Pet violation, $50 fine. Says I'm at risk of getting my lease terminated due to multiple violations. The notice claims I'm not picking up after my dog. Here's the thing. I don't have a dog. Never had a dog in this apartment. We're not even allowed to have dogs without paying an extra deposit. I immediately emailed the property manager. Subject line, I don't have a dog. In the email, I said, I do not own a dog. I have never owned a dog in this apartment. Therefore, I'm not paying this fine. Her response was absolutely insane. She says she's received several complaints and I only have one downstairs neighbor, so we all know who's complaining about urine coming from my balcony. So she assumed I was letting my dog pee on my balcony and it was dripping down. But then, and this is where it gets really good, she says since you don't have a dog, that means you or your boyfriend must be peeing off your balcony. She actually accused us of urinating off our balcony like we're animals. I read that email 3 times because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. This woman genuinely thought that me and my boyfriend were going out on our balcony and peeing off of it. In 4 years of living here, we've never had a single complaint, not one. Then Derek moves in and suddenly we're being accused of the most ridiculous stuff imaginable. I knew exactly what was happening. This guy was just making stuff up to get us in trouble. I called the manager and told her this was harassment, that these complaints started the second this new tenant moved in, that none of this is true and I refuse to pay any fines. She said she'd look into it, but I could tell she didn't believe me. That's when my boyfriend and I decided enough was enough. See, I work the night shift at the hospital. I get home around 2 in the morning and I don't go to bed until like 6 a.m. Every single morning at 6 a.m. I hear Derek leaving for work. His alarm goes off at 5:30. I can hear it through the floor. So we came up with a new routine. When I get home from work at 2 a.m., it's workout time. We do jumping jacks, lots of jumping jacks, running in place, burpees, all the exercises that make the most noise possible. We're not breaking any rules. There's no quiet hours policy in our lease. We're just working out in our own apartment for a solid 30 minutes every single night at 2 a.m. The first week, nothing happened, but I could tell it was working because Derek's morning routine started getting later and later. His alarm would go off multiple times. I'd hear him stomping around looking exhausted. Week 2, I ran into him in the parking lot. He looked terrible. Bags under his eyes. He was getting into his car and I smiled real big and said good morning. He just glared at me and drove off. Week 3, the property manager called me. She asked if I'd been making noise late at night. I said yes, I work out when I get home from my shift at 2 a.m. Is that a problem? She paused and said, well, there's been complaints about noise. I reminded her that there are no quiet hours in the lease and I'm allowed to work out in my own apartment. She couldn't say anything because I was right. I also mentioned that I've decided not to renew my lease when it's up in December. She seemed relieved, honestly. But that gives me 3 more months. 3 more months of 2 a.m. workouts. 3 more months of jumping jacks right above Derek's bedroom. My boyfriend and I have started getting really creative with our exercises too. We got a jump rope. We do this thing where we run back and forth across the apartment. Derek looks like a zombie now. I saw him last week and he could barely keep his eyes open. Part of me feels a little bad. But then I remember him accusing me of peeing off my balcony and that feeling goes away real quick. 2 more months to go.